Hey everyone, a quick video. We've got 22,000 Ks on the Patrol, and I'm going to tell you whether I like it or not, and what I like about it, what I don't. But we're doing an oil change again, and I'm just warmed it up a little bit. Get the oil up to about 50 degrees is good. I'm going to switch it off. That's hot enough that drains out a bit better and not too hot to handle. So we'll get up in the hoist and drop the oil out. It's time to give the big Patrol another oil change. So let's have a look. People are going to be curious, what does the oil look like? It's all highway Ks, remember, so this is as good as it gets. Looking at the dipstick like that, it looks pretty good still, and that's how I roll, do it before it needs doing. So not looking too bad. 22,000 Ks now, last oil change at 13,000, schedules every 10. I would do it every 5,000 if it was a keeper. I'm not saying if it is or not. And if I was doing shorter trips like most people do, this car does highway runs only. And a bit of bonus information while we're at it. Quite honestly, regardless of what you see on the trip computer, or you had a tailwind going down a hill once where you think you're getting 10 or 11 litres per 100, it's very difficult to work out the fuel economy. I don't care what the economy is, I'm just giving you info. The fuel tank doesn't fill up accurately, properly each time. More info in other videos. I might talk about it more later in this video, maybe not, or in another video. We've got a playlist there. It's called Y62 Patrol or something like that. But I would say the best I've seen on the highway runs like Brisbane, Sydney, along that concrete highway is about the best economy you can get at about the speed limit. 13 litres per 100, no towing. We've got road tyres, nothing's changed there. We've just got the roller Titan tray with a ridge mount on top. It's the only wind resistance that's been added. And the rear seats are removed for any other weight we've put in there, sort of compensating. So it's not really a lot heavier. It's in peak condition. You can see how clean and peak condition it is. Oil in peak condition. Can I say that's down a little bit, right? It's been running that way because the stick's leaning that way. So I'll do a few more dips, but that's all right. We're running what they want us to run is the 530. So we're running that at the moment because we're not towing and we're not living in Darwin. Anyway, don't want to waffle too much. So I'm gonna have a muck around here and I'm gonna drop the oil out. Just re-dipped it and it is perfectly up on the top dot, full line, hasn't used any oil. So my suspicion, it's a little bit dirty. The way to look after your petrol engine, all your engines, but particularly petrol because it gets contaminated by the petrol, is oil changes. Oil's a lot cheaper than engines. I do like to remove the engine cover, which is your two 10 mils, and just lift those rubber things off, pretty straightforward. Watch the video where I did it the first time. You know, I haven't worked on these before, okay? Wow, that's tight too, I don't know. I mean, I can take the blame, I definitely put that on, but maybe this is one of those things where I'm stronger than I think, but that's tight. I'm gonna have to get two hands and a bit of muscles to get that on. Not a big deal as it turned out. Probably could do putting a bit of molycoat on that O-ring just to help look after it and help it seal, but I'll go a little bit easier on that next time. Oil cap. So the service schedule on this vehicle so far, just so you can get to know me and my way of thinking, is you don't really need to do the oil on a new engine, but I like it. And I knew that I was going to do a long trip, nearly 10,000 Ks, and that means I need to do an oil change right before I go. So the first oil change we did at 3,000 Ks, then we did the 10,000 K trip, just under. So another oil change at 13,000 Ks, and now it's 22. So it was done after 3,000, after about 10,000, maybe less, and after 9,000 Ks. So getting back to the next one, hopefully, depending on what trips are on, the next one will be at 30,000 Ks. It only does highway Ks. What that means is your average speed's a lot higher. So for example, if the average speed of this engine is 100 Ks an hour, it's much better than your typical soccer mum car going to school and back shops and back on all that, which ends up being averaging probably 30 to 40 Ks an hour. Let's just use 33 for a figure. So the oil will be 3 times cleaner on this engine doing highway Ks at 100 than it will be at 33 Ks an hour, because the engine hours are 1/3 because of the average speed. Have a think about that before you do your 5,000 K oil changes too much. Now, I'm all up for 5,000 K oil changes, but when you're doing the higher speed, average speed Ks, your oil stays a lot cleaner because, like I said, less engine hours. And the other positive is it's probably even better than that because the engine's constantly at that running temperature instead of warm-up cycles, which they run rich, everything's not to operating tolerances, and that petrol that's contaminating the fuel, more of it happens in the warm-up cycle. So the longer, not just the speed, but the constantly at that warm side of things, just everything works so much better. So this is about the best condition Patrol you could find at 22,000 Ks, because not many people have got a number of vehicles that only use it for highway Ks. Full synthetic oil, 530. Oil filter changes have happened also, and I've got a couple more oil filters there. Bada bing, bada boom. Apparently they retail for 39 bucks each. I just paid 25 each for them. I think last time they were even a bit cheaper than that at a different dealer. Struggling to find the invoice wherever that is, but I'll be looking for it. So we've got it up there. Let's have a quick look around underneath, because some people are going to be curious. They missed the other videos. Like I said, there's a playlist there if you want to have a look, and then we'll drop the oil. At 20,000 Ks on most vehicles like this that I'm aware of, all it's due for, besides checking everything, is an oil and filter, and there'll be the lubrication points on the prop shafts, which we've done previously also. And the reason why I have changed the oil filter every time at 3,000 and again at 13,000 is because it's quite a small oil filter, which I can't show you at the moment because it's in behind there. We've got to take this metal guard off, but we'll get to that in a minute. Highway case, so the brakes are going to be like new. I just want to let you know the sump there, that's the sump for the engine. There's absolutely zero protection from hitting something if you were to go off-road, and there's your cross member behind it, which is actually, the sump's lower than the cross member, so just beware of that. It's a nice little 14mm standard Nissan thing for your sump plug. You can see no leaks there, but we did have a leak at the oil filter, and I put it down to the surface underneath that. So it'll be interesting to see now, after 9,000 Ks, what it looks like. And you can see the bump stop at the front there has actually touched at both sides when it's in normal position on the road. This is obviously fully extended and with enough bumps and that, and this hasn't been off-road. It hits the bump stop, so could you imagine what it was like if you went off-road on the rough stuff? This is highway Ks, people. Like, should be like a new car. Nice big fuel tank there, like just like the Prado 120. A lot of things they really, you can almost say they copied the 120 Prado. Anyway, other fuel tanks up there, spare tyres there. It's probably time for a rotate and balance. You want to see the condition of the tyres. They're starting to wear down in general, but there's no wear on the inside or outside edges really that people generally report on these cars. So actually looking pretty good, although I reckon there's more rubber on this left side than the right side. Might be just me. There might be a little bit of wear on the inside edge of the right side. Yeah, I think there is a little bit. So there is a little bit going on there. Now that I look at it, let's really compare things properly. I want to measure that. So there's a little bit of wear on the inside edge, so pretty good wear. But just even looking at the whole tyre, the middle of the tyre, comparing to the new one right next to it, I'm going to say that's half worn in 20,000 Ks. And this doesn't get a boot full on takeoff and that. Like I said, highway Ks, acceleration, yeah. But that tread depth there and there compared to here and here, it's certainly getting some wear. I'm going to do some measurements. Might be in a separate video. It's an oil change video. It's a service video. Checking a few things, showing you the vehicle, the wires, the ABS wires that could get a stick caught up on them pretty easily, just hanging around there. These cables, pretty strong, but they're just sort of hanging there. The rest of it under here is not too bad. That's something we talked about. But one of my biggest things for off-roading concerns would be this HBMC hydraulic pipes underneath the chassis, right where you're going to bounce and hit a rock at that union there, both sides of the vehicle. So that's probably the biggest one. So, you know, I'm not here to bag it out. I'm just saying what it is. And these would be my concerns. Alloy right there. I mean, look, no bash plate. Boom, alloy right there, you know. You know, what dreadful. Front tyres are looking like they've got a heap more meat on them. So what we're going to do is a 5 tyre rotate, I think, and get these tyres. We'll get one of the tyres to the spare, probably one of the back ones, that one that's got the most wear on it. It'd be time to give this one a rest. There's no point having a good spare sitting under there and wearing out your tyres. So we'll give this one a rest. It can go on the spare. The new one can probably go on the front. The front ones can go on the rear, and this one can probably go on the front with the other new one. And probably should be done every 10,000, but 10,000, 20,000 highway case, certainly due to be done now anyway. So we'll get that done as part of this service. Should be a 14 mil, should be able to just crack it loose, pretty simple like that if it hasn't been over tightened. Got a cameraman assistant there, so watch out you don't get sprayed with hot oil, get ready to jump back, but it should be right, but it is going to come out the hole. And I'm just going to show the experience where you just, oh, I mucked it up. I was going to show you no oil on hands, everybody, but yeah, I got a little bit, but that's pretty clean oil, you know, compared to what I see in most vehicles. Gotta get this back plate off. They'll be a little bit tighter than nothing. I'll drop those three because I think I'm going to be about to drop everything if I too much stuff in my hand actually. Have a look at all that stuff under there, mate. Look at all that. Look at all that debris, huh? Hey everyone. Oh, have a look at all that. Bring it up on top, show them all that road debris, mate. Cut. Yeah, mate. For the oil filter, that is correct. That's why we took it off. How about all that stuff collecting up in there? So that's all the stuff that's hit the radiator and what's fallen down. So we'll do a bit of cleaning all this stuff out because that'll just build up over the years. So beware of that. Oil filter, you can see bone dry, no leaks. If you remember last time, I did give that surface a bit of a clean up because I didn't trust after that there was a bit of wetness around. And they've got this special guard there to catch the oil. So we're going to go ahead and get that undone either by hand or with a bit of a tool. So they're pretty small. That's why I'll just change it every oil change on this one, definitely. If it was 5,000 Ks, I'd probably not bother changing the oil filter because it's not going to stop filtering. It's got plenty more capacity in it, especially with the low engine hours we've already discussed. Just for entertainment, I've got the Toledo ruler, and I'm going to tell you that you're looking at about the middle there. I'm going to call it 9 millimeters in the middle. Let's not worry about the side. It's going to get too complicated here. And what do we got left? Oh yeah, 4 millimeters. I know what I'm videoing, but because I'm looking at that, I'm looking at what I'm doing. Yeah, so we used 5 millimeters, but really you're going to want to measure the front one so you can go, well, is it the V8 that used the rubber? So that's fair. And I've got 7 millimeters on that front one. And about 7 on that front one as well. So yes, the V8 does use rubber, and the rear has got twice as much wear as the front. So you do the sums and work it all out. You can get technical and put something in the comments. I'm going to get this oil filter off. Well, I better get this sump plug back in so I can move the drain tray to the right spot. Sump plug in with a new washer, and then the new filter will go on. Good to see this one's not leaking. Doesn't matter how clean you think it is, use the brake cleaner on it and get it all brand new, spotlessly clean. Now let's see how this oil filter goes for mess making this time. Can't remember what happened last time. There it goes, right, there it is. Does it run down the filter? No, it just runs straight. That the Hilux needs a guard like that, doesn't it? The N70 Hilux. Look, so it would hit the cross member, it would do exactly what the Hilux would do. But they've got that guard there. It's just beautiful. Look at that. Straight onto it. None of it runs back. I don't think any of it's going behind it even. Look at that. It just works beautiful. I mean, I reckon you could do a bit better than that, but I tell you what, that's pretty bloody good. Got to be happy with that. Let it drain a bit, give it a wipe clean, lube the O-ring if it's not lubed, and the filter goes on. The reason I think it was leaking, see it's still a bit rough. Just see there's a bit of a line there. I don't know if that's from the outside of the metal of the oil filter scraping, but there's a rough, it's a bit rough. It's not a smooth finish, so you could get some wet and dry and smooth it up a bit more actually, I reckon. I did use the fine wet dry sandpaper and give that a surface up there. It's just a bit of a rub, and I'll tell you what, so much more. It's smooth as a mirror, just beautiful, soft, just flat as, where before it was just rough and perforated the casting, which is why I believe there was a slight weep past the O-ring the first time, but after a bit of rag rubbing last time seems to have solved it. But I just went next level because I could just sort of feel it there still. But obviously there was no leaks, and this is the replacement. It's all cleaned up, as you can see, beautiful. I'll do a little bit more so it's spotless and get the cover back on, and we'll move to rotate the tyres and wrap it up. Beautiful. Now, I just want to give you a precaution. When you spray a bit of brake cleaner and you got a rag and you wipe it, so you rub the writing off, just be careful so you don't rub too much off. The printing isn't as good on the Nissan oil filters as the Toyota ones from last time when that happened. So yeah, a bit of brake cleaner, not too much, and while it's wet with the rag, it just takes all the printing straight off. That's the old one, obviously. Well, it's up in there. I don't know if you can see, but I can see the brakes. They're still just like new. Highway Ks, you don't use brakes. They're just not going to wear out. The only other thing I've got to do while it's up is lubricate. You'll find grease nipples on all these uni joints. From memory, there's about 6 of them. Once again, just like the old 120 Prado. You think they might have copied or something. Was it hard to get to a couple of them or something from memory? But anyway, they're there and you lube them. So that grease. So 6 grease nipples all done. Just spin it around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Easy to get to. You can see them there, whatever. You'll find them. The hard one to get to, you could probably, I haven't done it, you could probably take this tray cover protective for the, so don't protect this bit, but protect this bit. Anyway, whatever, let's not go there. But you could unbolt this and take this cover off to get to this one. But for me, I'll just spin it around back to where it was. You can just see it in there kind of thing. The grease nipple there. So I just use the big grease gun on the other 5, and on the front one, the small one of the flexible hose comes around into there. If that helps you at all, servicing your 62 Patrol. If you don't trust that the kids are going to do it properly, you think they put the grease gun on there at 1,000 Ks? No, they didn't, and it looked all bone dry, never greased to me. So assembly grease, and that's it until you or somebody actually puts some grease in there. So I'll just put a little, tiny little bit, look and listen. As soon as you know there's some grease in there, stop pumping. Just a little bit's all it takes. All right, I'm just going to swap the tyres around. Put some oil in it, you know how to do that. Check the playlist, check the oil change videos. Do I like it? This car's 50-50. I love it. There's things I really like about it, and I hate it. There's things I really don't like about it. So it's 50-50, and I think it wouldn't be fair to go on about it in this video. Am I going to keep it? I don't know. It's probably a 2 to 5 year thing. Let's say it might be a 5-year plan at the moment. We'll just see what else comes out, what else that I'd actually put money into. But in the meantime, I'll just keep collecting my old Prados and Hilux and whatever. And if the kids need those, I need to grab a couple more because that's what I know and trust. Yeah, these tyres, I think these springs, for anyone that's still listening, 475s, right? The 475s, they're not the part of the standard listing. Very happy with the way that's turned out. So a few different things included in this video. Something or other, C59, 475. Maybe, I'm not sure, but 475 is the number I remember. Not a normal listing, quoted to give about a 35mm lift, but I can tell you, once you add a little bit of weight, you're lucky if you're getting 20mm lift, which is perfect. No wheel alignment has been done, it hasn't been touched. The only thing if it's moved is because they left it loose. There's some number of nuts and bolts that could be left loose on these cars because that's how they roll. Apparently, that's the story. Always I'd make sure that these bolts are nice and tight. If you don't want it to move, nuts, bolts, whichever side it is, you look and work it out and all that sort of thing. I'm just having a look around, pointing at things and having a look to see if I should have marked it so that I know it hasn't moved for me, and I don't think I did that. Anyway, whatever. That's where it's at. Maybe in a previous video, boom, 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 boom. But actually, you know, I mean, it looks like they're in about the right position compared to each other and where they should be, so I don't believe they've moved. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's pretty good tyre wear for a rear independent suspension vehicle with a V8. That is for sure. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. You got to understand this whole IFS. If you start modifying it, you could be up for headaches. Each to their own. I'm sure you can do it and get lucky. Oh, look, they've even got that for in case that, what's that? In case it wobbles and hits the spare, if you've got a bigger spare and all that. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Didn't notice that before. Anyway, long enough video. Catch you in the next one. See ya.